I love the start we got off to. I think you guys would agree. It was hot. I loved how we shared the ball in the first quarter. Loved how fast we played. We knew we had to get out of the gates early. We had to strike first. We talked a lot about being the aggressor tonight, the more aggressive team. So I loved our mindset in the first quarter. I thought as the game started to settle in, Michigan, especially in the second half, started to settle in as well. So the good part was that we had the lead, and they really forced us to do some different things offensively. And what I learned about our team is that we have to be better at being able to execute against pressure. And not be forced to get out of some of our continuity offense that we want to run. And Sid got back on track tonight. I thought in the first half, which was great. Mac, had a good night as well. Except for the turnovers. But Sarah, I thought, shared the ball. A lot of people, different people, stepped up. Gave us great minutes. We got into foul trouble, so we had to play lots of different combinations out there. To give up only 1 3 to a team like Michigan that averages right around 8 made threes a game was pretty terrific, as well as rebounding. They are a plus 11 on the boards, and we won that battle tonight. So. Great win for our program, for our team. Really, really proud of our guys and really how they came out from the jump.
Yeah, Teri, you mentioned that start, and kind of regardless of what came after the first quarter, I know you get the stat sheets, but you realize that the streak you guys had was building up that high with 15 straight made shots. And is there something in the moment that's special about seeing your team kind of click in that way for such a 10 minutes? It was kind of, like you said, pretty perfect.
Right. I'll be completely 100% honest. I had no idea that we were perfect until I got to see it. Really wasn't paying much attention to that. I was just really enjoying, like I said, the pace, how we were sharing the ball. It was really fun to watch, Sid get going the way she got going, Mac on the inside, just having the balance that we had. Again, nothing surprises me with this group as far as their ability to knock down shots. We knew that we were eventually going to cool off, though. And like I said, Michigan settled in. The great thing is that we built a lead, and they had to chase us the rest of the game. But, I wasn't unaware that we were shooting at such a high clip really until after, media timeout, but really after the first quarter was over.
Teri, and then I guess after that quarter happens, you have a big lead after that first quarter going the rest of the way. How do you kind of get your team to be able to keep its foot on the gas and kind of not let Michigan, Illinois kind of hung around, but after you guys went up big early, how do you kind of get your team to keep its foot on the gas and see that out the rest of the way?
You keep coaching them and, talk about, things that are happening when you get them to the media timeout, when you bring them off the floor and substitute them, you continue to coach them up. And, we were trying to not that we'll ever be perfect, but we still wanted to execute at a really high level. And we knew that Michigan is way too dangerous. Every team in this league is way too dangerous to ever take your foot off the pedal. So it was a matter of us just continuing to do some of the things that we were doing, but also be efficient and execute. In the half court, take good shots, high percentage shots. But, I even talked about us defensively. I thought we were really, really good, defensively and keeping them, making things hard for them. And, as good as we were offensively, there were a couple stretches there defensively that, were pretty good too.
You mentioned holding Michigan to just 1 3-pointer compared to their 8. You also limited their 3-point attempts to less than half of what they usually average. What did you see that had your defense become so successful in that fast?
Again, I think it's game preparation. You know, we pride ourselves. This was Linda's scout, and so you know she had them prepared. She had them ready. Our job was to protect the 3-point line. We knew the kids that could heat up. If we didn't, we wanted to try to run them off the arc as much as we could. And so it was more just about our players executing the game plan and what we had to do and what we needed to do going into the game, we wanted to keep them under 4 made threes. We chopped their average in half, but we obviously exceeded that goal.
Teri, you've won 11 in a row. What have been maybe some of the common denominators in that stretch, and what do you need to sustain that going forward?
Well, I mean, one of the common denominators for us is, I think, is we've had different people show up and step up. And, we've had 3 kids that have had 30-point games. We're getting our scoring, not just from Mac. She's a big part of, what we do and draws so much attention. I've really liked how we've shared the ball. We're averaging over 20 assists a game. And our ability to recognize who's hot and get them the ball as we've progressed, on this run has been pretty terrific. What we have to continue to get improve is our defense. We still, we've showed signs of the grittiness, the toughness that we had a year ago. And we're moving in the direction that we see moments, a lot of good moments where we're stingy. We can stack up 3 to 4 possessions where we get stops, and that's what we want to do. We want to stack up stops in the course, in the rhythm of the game, and our kids understand that's what we hang our hat on. A lot of different people have stepped up, no doubt, and I think along the way our defense has improved.
Hi, Teri.
Hi.
20-point win tonight against a really solid Michigan side. I mean, that's the biggest margin of victory so far in conference play. You talk about game plan, but was there anything different amongst the group that you noticed pregame of mindset or anything they were saying to each other?
No, I don't. No. Again, this is a very mature group. It's a veteran group. They've been in a lot of, high-level, intense games. We understand this league and how good it is, and how important it is to be able to protect your home floor, because it gets daunting when you go on the road in this league. And so many great players, so many great coaches. Represent, the big, and, we're obviously, happy to be such a great part of this conference. But, there's nothing, out of the ordinary. This group has been excited. They were excited, we got back from break to open it up with Illinois, and, they were excited once again tonight to be able to play in front of our great crowd.
Hi, Teri. Mac said tonight this is already a different team than it was at the beginning of the season, and I think she said something like that about a week ago too. How much better do you think your team is now than it was, say, 5, 6, 7 games ago?
Well, again, I think we've continued to improve, and that's what you want. That's what we want as a staff. It's coach speak, but you want to get a little bit better every day, and we've gotten a little bit better. Inside of every game. Now, we've had moments where, there's been frustration, there's been disappointment. Certainly, we watch film. There's plenty of things that we can pick out that we have to improve on and get better at doing. There's a lot of really good things that we showcase, and we show them that we're doing well. We've always had, Lou, the one-game mentality, what's ahead of us, just the next game. And, I hope that in the next couple days we'll continue to improve because we know that we're going into Lincoln and playing a really, really talented Nebraska team who's outstanding at home.
Yeah, Teri, this is a kind of a 2-part. Just first, what was the clarification on the free throw call?
I figured you'd bring that up. No, okay. I guess it's a correctable error. Mike had something different than Julie as far as the right kid at the free throw line. The only thing that, again, I want to dive in and have better clarification. My brother-in-law said this, they did change the shooter, but the kid had already taken a shot. So why did she get 2 more shots, right? She should have, and again, I don't know the rules, so I have to ask. But it seems it makes sense for, okay, they got the wrong shooter. Well, that shooter needs to maybe go up there and only get the one shot. Again, I don't know the rules. He didn't explain it that in depth. But it was very frustrating for us. And I think about it if it was a really close game.
That's what I was going to ask, like, because in the moment,
Yeah.
you're up by 20, so it doesn't matter.
Correct.
So, like, is that something then you go to the league for clarification?
Yeah.
And you'll kind of
Yeah,
send
I
them
think, and again, Patty will, she always does a great job of communicating, and it's easy to pick up the phone and call her just for clarification on, I'm not saying that, is, as he said, it's a correctable error, but my question is, why does she still get the 2 free throws, the one that had already been shot? And again, it might not mean anything, but,
The concern is just kind of, if a situation
yeah,
like that happens again. it's like a
I
close
need
game.
better clarification of why she gets the 2-shot foul, and yeah, so.
I actually wanted to ask you about regards to attendance. I was thinking tonight, when I first came, I covered a game and there were 6,380. I'm looking at it now, the first year I covered, and it's like, wow, this is a great crowd.
Yeah.
Now, after Sunday, you get here tonight and you're like, nice crowd, but we expect this now, the 83-23 or 87-23 that it was tonight. You expect that now. Obviously, we'd never take it for granted, but how great is it to know that, like, the floor of your crowds now, is filling to the entryway versus, not too long ago, you were lucky if, a crowd was this big tonight.
Sure. Well, we're grateful. I always say that, Ari. Things have changed, certainly since we've been here, and give all of our kids, all those players currently and the past players, all of them the credit because they've really turned this program into a competitive program, but I think one that our crowd enjoys watching. We try to play fast, we try to play discipline. And we play hard regardless of the scoreboard. And then if you get to meet them off the floor, they're as terrific as they are as players. They're even more terrific as human beings and people. And so, it's special. And I continue to say, they get us to the finish line, especially in those tight games. Our crowd, the energy, they know when we need them. And so it's been special, but you know what my goal is? My goal is to have more sellouts. I want this thing. I want to see more people in the rafters. So we still have more work to do.
You talked about that moment at the free throw line in the third quarter, and I mean, even with that moment, and it seemed like in that quarter, there were a lot of fouls that, let's just say, you all disagreed with a little bit, and I'm sure you can kind of trust your veterans to handle that moment. The energy in the building kind of changed noticeably in that third quarter. But how did you kind of see your younger players that were involved in all of that kind of handle that moment and handle that energy change?
Well, I thought they did a good job. I mean, but there were still some mistakes, which you expect, from some of those young kids. Regardless of the scoreboard, it's still a Big Ten game, and there's a lot at stake, and they want to perform well, and so there were moments where there was some things that you didn't particularly like in terms of whether we missed a check out or whether we turned the ball over or whether we didn't execute, but I can find all kinds of different things to pick at them, even at the beginning, of the game. And so, you do lean on your veterans for sure when, things start to change. But, the other thing is that we got to adapt. You got to adapt to the officials. And, sometimes young people, my kids, have a hard time doing that. And, the stoppage of play is hard, especially when you're a team that likes to get up and down as much as we do. I'm not, some of those, and it's harder on the other end to see some of those fouls. You just got to trust that what the officials see.
kind of in a similar vein, you mentioned you have to try out a few different lineups, a few different players. What did you see, especially from your depth, younger players, on defense to keep that lead intact?
Yeah, they did. I thought Jules had a couple moments where, she did. She had to get in there. We were in foul trouble with Sid. We were in foul trouble with Yarden. That's a freshman that has to go on the low block and guard a player that she's given up some size to. But the things with Jules. The thing about Jules is that she's super competitive. She's really strong, and I thought she did a great job. I thought Lexi, I thought Lily, all those guys that came in off the bench, especially like I said when we got in foul trouble. I thought they did a great job, but it's nothing that I'm surprised by. I mean, we rep and we guard every day, and they understand the importance of getting stops and making it difficult on the opposing team. And so I would expect nothing more, nothing less than what we saw tonight in all those kids.